Hi, my name is Amy Walquist, and we are going to share with you a little bit about compliance and how to speak about your love for Young Living and the Young Living products. I have been with Young Living for about 4.5 years, and I'm here with my friends Brooke Horn and Jennifer Breedlove, and I'm going to let them briefly introduce themselves before we get started.
Hi there, I'm Brooke and Brooke Horn, and so excited you're going to join us today. This is a great topic just to help you get started sharing. I too have been with Young Living for over 4 years now, and just the incredible benefits that it's brought to our life and being able to share about that is exciting. So excited for you to be here with us today.
Hey everybody, this is Jennifer Breedlove. I'm so happy you guys are here, and I'm so happy that Amy is doing this topic because it's so awesome to share Young Living with your friends, because when you have this great secret, you need to be able to talk about it to be able to help others. So I want to encourage you to listen carefully to the things that she has to say about how to share and how to bless others around you. Welcome everybody.
Okay, let's get started. So we're going to assume that because you're watching this video that you love Young Living and that you love the products, that you've had great benefits with your family and your time with Young Living. And like Jennifer mentioned, we want to help you share them with confidence with people. Young Living has asked us to stay within certain guidelines when we talk about Young Living. And so we're going to give you parameters so that you can share with your friends and your family and do so within these safety parameters. So the safe zone is when we talk about normal body functions and systems, when we talk about how the oils and the Young Living products support the normal body systems and functions, when we don't make medical claims, and when we don't use disease names. So what we call that is staying above the wellness line. So abnormal body functions and systems are below that line. So if I were to be on social media and I were to talk about things like irritable bowel disease or celiac disease or cancer, like I can't do those things because that would be making claims that are not within our safe parameters that Young Living has asked us to stay in. So ways that we can talk about the oils and products is we can say things like, I use rosemary to help me focus. When my mind is going all over the place and I feel like I'm having all these squirrel moments, then I use rosemary essential oil. Or we can say, when I'm having hormonal issues and I feel like I'm a little bit frazzled, maybe if I'm having like that time of the month and I feel like I'm struggling, then I can use Dragon Thyme essential oil and it really helps me. So here's some very specific examples, because I always have people say, well, just like tell me how I say that. Like tell me, I just want to know, how can I say it? So, for instance, the teenage acne, that was a huge part of our story in the beginning. My daughter had a pretty significant issue to the point where it was affecting her confidence when we started Young Living. And we absolutely did use tea tree, and it was significant and it did help. And that was part of one of our first strong testimonies with Young Living. So instead of using a diagnosis that you might see on a chart, like cystic acne, I can say my daughter was struggling with her complexion and it was hard for her. She was a teenager and she wanted her skin to be clear. And so we use tea tree oil to support that. A really good word to use is support and body systems. So I use RC to support my respiratory system. I use joy to support my emotions, my healthy emotions. I use lemongrass. This says I take lemongrass as a dietary supplement to support a healthy digestive system. Well, that's a little wordy. What I would say is I use lemongrass or digest to help my gut. That's fine. You can say that. You can say help. You can say support. We want to not use words that would be used as a diagnosis when you go into the doctor. But let me just say that, okay, like I'll just use myself as an example. I have a diagnosis of celiac disease, and so I have issues with my stomach. So I can say, and be completely compliant. I can say, you know what? I struggle with my digestive health. And so I use Digize in a capsule almost every day. And it is so wonderful. And it really helps my digestive system. And it helps me with my stomach and my everyday health. So you don't need to use those diagnoses in order to get the point across. People know what you're talking about. And the reality is we have an oil for every different system in the body, and everybody needs oil. So we just have to share and find a way to do it and still stay within these parameters that Young Living has asked us to do. And I will tell you that what is most important when we're talking about sharing compliantly or staying above the wellness line, this is really important. So if you're a note taker, write this down. The most important thing is that you watch what you say and do on social media. That's the most important thing. What's going to happen if you accidentally use a word that you shouldn't have used? Probably nothing. Probably nothing is going to happen. I know that when Brooke and Jennifer jump on here, they will validate this. We have all made mistakes and said things that we shouldn't have said. And sometimes we go back and correct ourselves and say, oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say depression. I meant to say sadness. Like I was sad. That's what I meant to say. So it's okay. What is super important is that you share and that you be honest and you share your story and your testimony with people. But you do that in a way where you're not making yourself vulnerable and you're not making our company vulnerable. We want to be sharing essential oils with people in 25 years from now. And so we're trying to protect our company and also protect ourselves and our income and our careers. And we want everybody to have Young Living essential oils. So it's in our best interest to watch what we say and do, but it is the most important on social media. And the second way that it's important is if it's in print. If it's something in print or if it's recorded, it's very important that you watch what you say and what you do. If you're talking face to face with your mom or your sister or your BFF, then you may feel like you can be a little bit more free with what you share. So I am going to open up the video now to Brooke and Jennifer. I'm going to unmute both of them and see if my girls have anything that they want to add.
Hey, I do have a couple of things I wanted to add. Amy already said this, but this is just the quick way that I give people to remember it. I say, would a doctor say it? If the answer is yes, then you don't say it. That's just a very quick way to check yourself. Is this something a doctor would say you have? Then don't say that. Change it to respiratory. You need respiratory support or something along that line. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Young Living does have a line of over-the-counter products, and on those products you actually can make claims that a doctor would make. So I actually right now have these are my buddies because I have had a cough, and I can say I have a cough because on the bag it says relieves coughs, because this is an approved over-the-counter product. It also says it soothes the sore throat and it cools the nasal passages. So because Young Living has made that claim, I know I can make that claim. So if you're unsure whether you can make a claim, look and see what Young Living has said about it, because I guarantee you they're going to be compliant. So those were the two things. I also wanted to reiterate what Amy said. Don't let compliance scare you into not sharing. We're just asking you to be aware, but don't be scared. That's not the right thing. People need these products, so totally share. Just constantly be aware that you are not a doctor, so don't pretend that you are. Be very aware of what you should be saying and not saying, but don't let that scare you. We all make mistakes and it's all good. Okay, Brooke, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a couple things. So first of all, I wanted to mention that when we do Facebook classes and online social media classes, when we do in-person classes, all of us are actually typically starting, excuse me, with a disclaimer. And it's really simple. Young Living has one printed. I don't always read it. I basically just say, hey guys, I am here and I'm not a doctor. I don't treat, diagnose, I don't cure. I don't pretend that I'm going to give you those things. But instead, I'm a mom and I'm going to share, what the things that have worked for my family and the benefits that I've had from these amazing products. So simple way just to kind of start off too. And that also deters people from sometimes asking those direct questions that we can't answer on social media. Another thing that if you want to know what Young Living has to say about a product, there's actually an amazing document that's on the virtual office under member resources that says product claims. And it doesn't have all of the Young Living products because Young Living has a lot to offer, but it has a majority of the products there and anything that you can claim about the product. And there's some great things on there. So if you're feeling stuck, not knowing what to say about a certain product, you want to share a testimony, you want to say something about this amazing transformation in your life, just take a look at that document, and that will maybe help kind of prompt the things that you can say. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was just briefly, so what happens? What happens if you do say something? And what happens if, there is a possibility that someone would turn you into a compliance? What happens? Young Living is going to contact you, and they're going to ask you to take it down. And that's what's going to happen. So, if you do it multiple times, then there's going to be more serious consequences. But if you're being aware, you don't have to be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a matter of, sharing above the wellness line. So that's all I had to say.